What's poppin', y'all? Today I'm gonna yap about some Diddy, and I'm really gonna give a different perspective than everything you've seen so far. And this isn't really gonna be as much of a Diddy video as a lot of the other topics are. People they went through the lawsuit and everything involved with that, but this is so crazy because I even tweeted this. You should follow me at the Mind of HY. Something along the lines of, what's crazy isn't like what Diddy did, but the level to which he did those things. Like we thought there was always rumors about Diddy, but when we saw what he was being accused of, it's insane. And then a day later, everything being settled for an undisclosed amount, which I can't imagine is anything less than $20+ million. One thing I do want to tackle first, the first topic, is these people that whenever something bad happens, whether it's a tragedy or just like, for example, like let's say a gun incident or something like that, people go to their respective positions that they have on these things with very little nuance and they try to pin someone in a certain way. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I'm usually, when it comes to accusations, especially with like powerful people, I'll usually take the angle of, all right, man, like let's actually hear things out. But with Diddy, I'm not gonna lie, man, I don't think that girl had any mal intent or is like trying to ruin Diddy's career. And number one, even if she's trying to ruin Diddy's career, if everything that she said is true and potentially more, does he not deserve to have his career and life ruined? Like he allegedly terrorized this chick. Like, think about it. I'm not even going to go into the age thing because I think it's just like such a tired trope where they're like, oh, this person's 37 and she's 19. When it's like this kind of stuff happens all the time and it doesn't end up in the same way that the Cassie and Diddy thing ended up going. But let's just go to the point where, number one, he's controlling her entire career. He gave her a career as well. And then she realizes what he's capable of. So imagine you're being terrorized, you're being followed, you're being watched. He's probably the type to tell you like, oh, I seen you with this, and this person at this place and location. You're like, what the hell? How did he even know I was there? Allegedly inflicting physical harm on you as well as mental harm and forcing you to go through sadistic things that are beyond traumatizing for over a decade for his own pleasure. Like, how are we going to say, like, this person's trying to ruin his life? Like, this is beyond belief. And then the people saying, oh, she should have, went to the police or, like, handled something like this sooner. I could see that perspective being used for 99% of other cases. But in this case, think about it through her perspective. In her eyes, her point of view, she's probably looking at, like, Diddy, like, this is impossible. This guy allegedly blew up Kid Cudi's car, this person that I was somewhat seeing, attacking other people that I'm seeing. There was footage from, allegedly, when that thing happened in the I'm tweaking out, at the hotel, where he was like hitting her or whatever, and then he got the footage for that. So he got the footage from this hotel. She's probably thinking, if I go to the cops, I'm putting myself in a worse situation, because if they can't protect me in the immediate future, Diddy's gonna find me and God knows what he's gonna do. It's like Diddy was Big Brother in her life. Now imagine you can outrun Big Brother. No, you can't. So I think it's anybody that's coming at her in any type of way is completely wrong. With that being said, though, this is a perfect example, and this is my entire point with this. Conspiracy is not even close to as bad as the truth is. And we can't even imagine how bad the truth is. Because look at it like this. Before this entire thing happened, what did we think about Diddy? There's always been conspiracy theories about Diddy. The worst thing that we thought was like, yeah, Diddy's probably, he's riding with the fruit team. He's slicing up oranges. He's dicing pineapples, no Rick Ross, in that type of realm. And that was the worst thing that we thought, which, granted, it's not a great thing to have on his name, especially with his stature in the industry. But when just the stuff that we found out, it's even worse than if it was just that. Like, if you just realize, like, oh, man, like, yeah, I guess Diddy's gay. It's like, all right, well, you got to look at him different now. But you find out, that was the conspiracy. And people were like, nah, man, you're crazy for believing in conspiracies. The truth is crazier than conspiracy, because you are looking at the level that this guy was operating at. And I'm not talking about a positive operating level, like, oh, this guy's on another level. He was on another level of, like, supervillain. I mean, this guy was beyond the Joker. This guy was blowing up cars, and when he hears that his mortal enemy, Suge Knight, is down the block, the guy gets up, grabs all his belongings, running down on them with a gun. It's insanity. And I understand how someone can get to this level. Well, no, I don't understand. I can see the linear progression. I definitely don't agree with it. But you got to think, Diddy was already the type of personality that seemed like he needed to get what he wanted and he wouldn't take no for an answer. Like, think about it. You guys ever see that famous viral video? I might put it in here. It's one of my favorite videos of all time. I can't really look at it the same anymore. But it's when he's on the phone and he's in his office and he's like closing a deal or something. Then he smashes the phone. Then he's just yelling at it. It was such a motivating video. I love this video clip. Now I can't look at it the same. He was like a get after it type of dude. And you just looked at him in that way. And now you're like, whoa, you're getting after it a little bit too much, bro. Like, chill, from way too many angles. Also, something we gotta knock out, Adam 22 never did anything like this, and it might be a white boy winter. I think white boys caught the W on this one. Because Adam 22, while he did, put his wife to get smashed out by another dude, he did it to get paid. Diddy was paying other dudes to smash his girl. So, I mean, is there any way you can defend that? No, we can't really do that. Now everyone's saying, yo, this opened the door. Diddy's not going to suffer any repercussions for this. Everyone's going to forget about it in 7 to 10 days. They might reference it here and there. But this just goes to show, if Diddy is doing this, and Diddy is low level, let's be honest. In hip hop, he's kind of like a kingpin in terms of power and respect, but think on a global international scale. Sure, Diddy's like almost a billionaire or kind of a billionaire. There are a couple thousand billionaires that are in stratospheres that don't even compare to Diddy. So if Diddy is doing this, imagine what these other people are doing. And that's when you kind of sit down and think, man, those conspiracy theories that I was reading about, maybe it's a lot worse than that, because we're seeing it worse every time we find out news about people, about any type of topic. You find out that the truth, when it comes out, you're like, damn, my imagination wasn't even as crazy enough to believe or to come up with a conspiracy theory that was even close to as wild as what the truth or what people are alleging the truth to be is. And that's what we got here with Diddy. I think people are still going to work with him. I don't think anybody's going to come out against him. I'm not saying they should. But people that are advocates of any type of protect women, do this, and that, if they're not saying something, I'm looking at them like they're crazy. Now, I'm not one of those advocates. I kind of just mind my own business and do my own thing. But if they are one of those people and they suddenly decide not to have an opinion on this one thing, when they have an opinion about everything on God's green earth otherwise, and some stuff that's not even in a lawsuit, just rumors. Like academics kind of talked about this when it's like people coming at Trey Songz. It's like, oh, what have we even seen with Trey Songz? It's just random rumors here and there. So yeah, conspiracy, you guys probably got to start believing in some conspiracy theories. I'm not going to lie. I don't really believe in many. I don't even really think I believe in much at all. Like there are some where you kind of just feel a gut feeling. You're like, yeah, this makes sense. But the majority of them, I'm like, nah, it would be too difficult to kind of execute. Not the impressive, but what blew me away was how long he's been able to keep this under wraps. Like it's not easy to keep something like this. There had to be thousands or at least several hundred people that knew what was going on, maybe up to 1,000. And to have all of those people keep their mouth shut is mind-blowing. Will Diddy eventually come to his day of reckoning? I think it'll happen. I think it'll happen eventually. People like this, they don't get away with it for the rest of their lives. And they eventually make missteps or errors, which this was probably an error if he didn't settle immediately, but maybe he just didn't want it to be a shakedown. But I don't think this is going to harm him. I think this is an evil industry. The question is, was Diddy moving as crazy as Harvey Weinstein or crazier? That's the real question that I have for you guys in the comments. Let me know what y'all think about this. This is it's kind of depressing to just hear about this stuff because who knows what these other people are doing. And then you got to think everyone's kind of colluding. And then they portray this image, this is the irony of it. Diddy was portraying himself as this freedom fighter, which is brother love, especially when the BLM stuff was going on. Man, they're trying to hold us back. They're trying to keep black people down. And then meanwhile, he's doing this to his girl and then, allegedly hiring escorts and terrorizing these other people and not blackmailing, but threatening violence on other people, blowing up Kid Cudi's car, which is just so, I just can't let that sit in my mind. And the fact that Kid Cudi kept that quiet. So shout out to Cudi, man, for handling that. I will say though, and this is the criticism I have of Cassie, I think it was incredibly selfish and beyond dangerous that she would even try to involve herself with another man while Diddy was pining for her or still obsessed with her. Now people are going to say, well, she doesn't deserve to be happy. She's being chased by someone who might as well be the CIA at this point, who can operate outside of the law and she's going to put another guy in complete danger and in this guy's crosshairs, that's way too much. And we saw what happened. So that's probably the only thing I'll say. Other than that, I really feel bad because it's almost like she came into the industry and didn't even have a chance. Like once Diddy locked eyes with her, he was like, oh, okay, you're done. And that's probably how she's felt ever since. And really, no amount of money can make up for something like that. You could be up 20, 30 million. There gets to a point where the money doesn't make a difference. And people that are saying she's doing this for money, I mean, she was with the guy and he was paying for everything. And even in the lawsuit, it says it. He had her 2 like really fancy apartments or houses. He was buying her bags. Gave her cars, everything, even money, I think like allowance and stuff like that. And she gave all of that up to go run away and hide with a friend. There gets to a point where you're not willing to have terror inflicted upon you for money. And I think that's something that people just don't seem to want to grasp. I think they can, but they just deny it. But let me know what y'all think about this in the comments. What other conspiracy theories now do you think might actually be worse? Because remember, like just a couple weeks ago, we find out that Diddy, or like we find out more proof, or not proof, but people corroborating the idea that, you know, Diddy put the hit on Tupac. And now we're seeing that he was running down on Suge Knight. So it makes perfect sense. So what conspiracy theories within hip hop, let's just say, do you think are significantly worse than we imagined? Let me know in the comments. Like and subscribe and hit the notification bell if you enjoyed. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Thank you for watching. Peace.